Whoop, whoop.
Hello, hello, good morning,
We're live.
everyone, and welcome to Wow Wednesday. I am your host, Nancy Matthews, one of the founders of Women's Prosperity Network, along with my two sisters. And when I say sisters, I mean sisters, same mother, same father, growing up in Brooklyn, New York. And we bring you this midweek boost of motivation, education, and inspiration. And trust me, you're going to get all of that today and more. So that we're in a space of continuous growth and improvement and advancement for our personal as well as our professional lives. We've got Dr. Patricia Rogers with us today. She is a visibility strategist, and I'll bring her on in just a moment as we discuss visibility in a virtual world. Before we kick off, I want to share a few quick announcements, and I'm hearing some noise in the background. Not sure where that's coming from. They probably got to mute that, Patricia. Okay. So a couple of quick announcements. First of all, I want to say thank you and congratulations to everyone who showed up for our Networking with a Twist, which we held yesterday, which is the third Tuesday of every month. You get the opportunity to connect on a deep level with 15 to 20 entrepreneurs. So make sure you show up next month if you didn't make it. And if you made it, show up again. Also, on the fourth Saturday of the month, we have our monthly mastermind. So that is also available for all of our members as well as guests to come on in and grow yourselves and your businesses. So just visit womensprosperityNetwork.com and go to the events tab, and you'll get all the information on the great events and opportunities to connect that we've created for you. And in that, we're going to now bring you Dr. Patricia Rogers as she shares with us about how to gain more and more visibility in this virtual world. So welcome, Dr. Patricia Rogers. Yep, you got to come off mute, my friend.
House, Dr. Rogers is in the house. Whoop, whoop,
Yes.
whoop, whoop.
Yes.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, Nancy. How are you?
I am great and wonderful to have you with us today. It's always a pleasure to have you as our guest, as part of our community, and I love everything that you do for entrepreneurs as well as yourself in growing your brand. So let me tell everybody a little bit about your background, and then we'll dive in. So Dr. Patricia Rogers is a visibility strategist and the CEO of Unity in Service, which provides speaking opportunities for business owners worldwide, specializing in hosting virtual events, not unlike this one, and not unlike the one she's doing on Saturday that we'll be telling you about. Dr. Rogers is a sought-after two-time winning international speaker, two-time international best-selling author, and a business consultant who shares the exact strategies that she used to build her global brand with entrepreneurs that are eager to expand their reach. Dr. Rogers is a retired corrections officer lieutenant with 29 years of service in law enforcement, a 12-year veteran in the U.S. Army. Thank you for all of that service. A graduate of St. Thomas University, and she also received an honorary doctorate of humanity award from Theophany University. She began hosting in-person events and over a decade ago, and since 2020, she has organized more than 50 virtual conferences and workshops, providing thousands of speakers and participants with opportunities to share their knowledge. She recently released her book, In-Person and Virtual Events That Rock, and she is just a woman on a mission to make sure that all of us, me and you, watching right now, gain more visibility so we can have a greater impact, make a difference in people's lives, and make some more money in the process. So welcome, Dr. Pat.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So happy to be here, Nancy.
We are glad to have you. And let's start by talking about your transition from being in corporate to being an entrepreneur, because one of the things that I really admire about you is the preparation and planning you did even before retiring to set yourself up for success. Can you speak to that just a little bit for us?
Oh, sure. Yes, what happened with me in corporate America was I went through a lot of politics. I was a victim of politics in the workplace. And of course, I'm a stand-up girl, so I stand up for myself, and I always succeed, in my endeavors. I don't believe in people stopping me. I believe that every challenge that I face has purpose. So I just have to figure out the purpose, get through the challenge, and then I know that the reward is on the other side. So I excelled in that area. But prior to retiring, I saw quite a few people also, besides the politics. I saw a lot of, well, quite a few people would leave, retire basically. And I find that some of them will come back to work, and some of them was high ranking officials. And when you leave and come back, you have to come back at the bottom, the bottom rank, which was an officer. And that I watched that, and that didn't make sense to me. As a matter of fact, it scared me, because I'm like, Lord, after all these years I worked and I'm gonna retire, I'm gonna have to come back to work. So that was the thing. And it also helped me establish myself, not just in preparing for finding out what am I gonna do as an entrepreneur, because I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wasn't going back to work. So I had to get in the communities, find out what entrepreneurs was doing through networking. And that was definitely trending then, a lot of live events. And that's where I met Allison, of course, who is still in WPN. And she's Susan Weiner's daughter, stepdaughter. And she was at an event and she had invited me to WPN. And I was searching. I was hungry. I was out, oh God. And I was afraid. I was afraid because I knew I had to do something. I can't go back to work. That's what was in my head. And I came to WPN, and I know I joined the very first day because I knew common sense knows that you got to go where the people are if you want what they have.
Well, hold on a second, because the point I want to make right in this moment from that very first event you attended at Women's Prosperity Network, here's what sticks out in my memory. You had your phone and you were like, come on, get over here. I'm taking your picture right off the bat. She's taking pictures. And that leads to visibility, right? So
that leads to visibility.
Here she is, still working in her corporate job. And she knew that as an entrepreneur, the number one thing she needed to do was A, go where people are, and B, let even more people know where you are and what you do. And that's why this became your go-to marketing tool, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I'm glad you remember that, because I was so afraid to come back there and ask you to take a picture with me. But I'm telling you this, you're right. The selfie stick, the camera, that's a tool that I think that all of us should use. I'm just saying, especially for those who think you are introverts. When you go into public places and you don't know people and you're in a networking event, I use this camera. Everybody wants to be seen. So I would know all networking events I go to, I say, come on, let's take a selfie. And everybody comes over, people start laughing, and doors of opportunity open. Conversation opens, which leads to doors of opportunity. So yes, my selfie stick goes with me everywhere, and my phone.
You know what I love about this aspect of using your phone, your selfie stick to take a photo? When you are inviting people to come into, hey, come on, let's take a photo, you're making it about them, not about you. You're doing something to benefit them. And that immediately helps build rapport, build likability. Yes, it lets me know you care about me right off the bat. So,
and I do.
Well done. I know you do. I know you do.
And so basically that's how it began and how I started my journey. And then I started marketing Legal Shield back in the day, and I still do. And I was doing quite well in that organization that it's a multi-level marketing, of course, legal and identity theft. And I was doing very well, getting the bonuses. I was just staying on top of everything. I got the BMW, bonuses and all that. My first BMW, I had a ball. But what happened was when I was out networking, pushing that content, the information about Legal Shield and identity theft services, setting up my vending tables in the neighborhoods and all of that, different arenas, whatever. And it came a point where I enough is enough. I want that mic. I wanted that mic in my hand. I wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to manage the event. I was excited about that. I wanted to do that in my heart. But so one day I had a defining moment, and I feel God spoke to me. And he said, host your own event. So if you want to do what you want to do, any of us, we create opportunity. Yep. Entrepreneurs, women, we create opportunities. And that's when I started hosting them in my backyard. And I would have I put the announcements out, all the entrepreneurs, they get a 60-second infomercial. I put on there, they was getting free food. They got tables. I had the vending tables were at my cost. I rented those, the tents, the chairs, I fed them for free. All of those things. I have 50, 60 people in the backyard, and we was on the tiki hut. I had a tiki hut. I put the microphone on there. We all had a little stage. And it came to a point when I was started actually taking, you all had a training for public speaking that year. And I came to the public speaking training. And when you ask everybody, you had us all come to the front, ask us all, what is it that we do? And we had to give you our 60-second information. I had mine down pat with Legal Shield. You know, we're serving millions of people and all this stuff, legal identity, all this. You don't know your rights. You don't have any. And when I finished my spiel, you said to me, you said, Legal Shield is a good company. It's great. I've had Legal Shield. But my question to you is, what does Pat Rogers have to give? That messed me up. That messed me up. And it had me thinking. And then Trish Carr spoke, I think, at that event. She always talked about Napoleon Hill. At that time, I had not read it. I went and got that book. And when I read that part in that book, when he says one sound idea is all one need to achieve success. And then he said, your desire must be so strong that nothing will stand in the way of you achieving your goal. And I thought about you, said, what does Pat Rogers have to give? I had to work those 6 steps in that book. I had to figure this thing out. Yeah. What am I going to give in exchange? What do I have that people will pay me for? So I had to discover my gifts and talents. And it wasn't overnight, you know, and come to find out when I was talking to you and I told you something that day, you asked me about my job and I started crying. Yeah. Because I told you and shared something that I didn't want the world to know. And you said, that's your story. So that's how I got started. And then I started going into hotels. You told me, you said you need to, now that you're hosting events in your backyard, you already have a business. All you have to do is monetize. Yeah. And that's how I got started in going into hotels. And from that day to this, that was 2015. And I've been doing my thing since the pandemic. I had to transition to online, and you was there again telling us, don't change vision. All you got to do is pivot. So I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you, WPN.
Yeah, you are amazing, my friend. And I want to distill a couple of key ingredients in this whole visibility piece that I heard from your story. And I want to distill this so that everybody listening in, you're all entrepreneurs, I presume. That's typically what comes to Women's Prosperity Network. You're here to bring your project, your services, and your products forward, make an impact and build a business. So if you heard in Pat's story, she started hosting events in her backyard. So she wanted to share about Legal Shield, and she wanted to get people to come. So she didn't just say, come over to my backyard and I'm going to tell you all about Legal Shield. She thought, what do the people who I want to come, what do they want? What can I give them? And immediately, so again, it's switching from I to you. What she focused on people, and by focusing on people, she got the opportunity to tell them about herself, but she didn't start with that. She created a platform for them to share their message. So I want you to think about, if you're to host your own event, the people who you want to come, what do they really want? You want them to hear your message, but what do they really want?
Yes, so absolutely.
Good. Yeah, and I was actually a speaker. I think this might have been the first event you did in a venue. I think it was like in North Miami or something at a country.
Yes. Country club. Yes. That was WPN. I think I had about 3 of you all then. And that was the first event that I hosted, yes. And I sold tickets and I had to pay for the food and I was feeling my way. And, and then it got to a point where as years went by, I started posting on social media my events and people started flying in, even far as London. If you remember the orange tie speaker. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They started flying in from mine and I had to book the rooms and all of those things like that. And the negotiation, you all talk about that in all of your trainings, all the things that we need to do. And I just exercised those things. I implemented the processes and I had those events. And then came 2020, after hosting events annually with speakers. I had speakers, I had expert panelists, I had vendors.
Hundreds of people.
Yeah. And after that, then the pandemic hit and I had to transition to online because They canceled my event. The hotel said, we got to cancel, going to give you your money back because of the pandemic. And then, of course, you met with all of us. And then Eventbrite called me and they said, you can push the date back or you have to give them a refund, one of the two. I say, well, I'm no need of me pushing the date back. We're in a crisis. And I felt that was God speaking as well. Give the people back their money. Some people was like, why are you giving the money back? Because we was hoping the thing would blow over. But I just felt in my heart, let me just give them the money back because we're all in a crisis. And I did. And it was about $14,000, almost $15,000. That was my best year because I learned a lot of things, the ways to save money, make money, save money. And I was devastated. Well, what happened was when you talked to us and said just transitioned online, I started utilizing the systems on the features on Zoom. I learned how to use it. I had to learn how to run that Zoom and that Eventbrite together so it'll run smoothly. And of course, virtual backgrounds they're essential because I have, like you said, I have to protect the people I serve. And virtual backgrounds was my brand, is my brand. Other people are picking it up. And because it saves us distractions, takes away from the person who's speaking. And this is very important to me. And that's one way visibility is essential. And that's when one of the ladies in the organization, she reached out to me after coming to several of the events that we was hosting online, because we did I did about 8 that first year. And she said to me, you need to be a visibility strategist. And I was called business development strategist at that time. She said, you need to be a visibility strategist, because I was teaching people how to do the videos. I was teaching about the virtual banners. And I didn't even think about that. And I'm like, oh, I like that name. And that's how visibility was born.
Now, isn't it great to take a look, to have somebody from the outside just watch and see what you're doing and say, you're a visibility strategist. And what's interesting is visibility was the number one thing you started doing from the get-go in building your business. Visibility is what you continue to hone your craft and your expertise in. Visibility is what you started to simply share with other people. And you didn't even know, I guess that's my expertise. So it's fantastic. Yeah. Now, I got a big question. I don't always want to get on camera. Like, it's a confession time. I don't always feel like it. And I would imagine you might feel that occasionally, and or the clients that you work with feel that occasionally. What do we do when we don't feel like it?
Oh, wow. Well, you know what I'm gonna tell everybody. First thing you got to do, 2 words. You got to just do it. Number 2, you got to get up, suit up, and show up. But in all reality, yes, Nancy, I'm that way too. There are times I know I plan to do a video and I'm like, I don't feel like doing it today when the time comes, you know. But one thing I do know, I have to set a time to do it. I have to know when I'm going to do it. I have to plan to do it because it puts me in the mindset. So even if I may miss that that hour that I said I was going to do it, I'm going to do it because I have to shape my mind and get ready to do it. Because what happens when we're ready to go on camera? We get brain dead. I can talk, but the minute I'm ready to do a video, I'm like, what am I going to talk about? You know, and I walk around this house myself, talking to myself. I can have a whole conversation with myself. But then I get on camera, I'm like, what am I going to talk about? So we all go through that. But what it is, and I'm going in, there are times when I know I have to think about what am I going to talk about? Because, of course, I want to be relevant or whatever with it. So therefore, I will make myself a note of what I'm going to talk about. And sometimes I have to pin it on my computer and read a little bit of it. And after that, I'm fired up, I'm gone. You know, and then sometimes when I'm out and about, I don't go out to do videos. But when I'm out, I do videos because I'm already out. So if I'm eating dinner, people knows. They want to know what you're doing. If I'm in the car driving, sometimes, but whatever I say, it has to be relevant, of course. But people we got to be personal with people. But yeah, not wanting to be on camera is typical for everybody. And that's something we all just have to say, you know what, this is the day I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it. And we have to prepare for it. Yeah. You know, so.
And let's talk, thank you for that. And the message that I got in that is plan. Like, when you want to put your videos out there and get visible on social media, know what you're going to say beforehand, and that's taking a little bit of time. What do I want to talk about today, and what will the message be? And then as you're driving or you're out, be impromptu. And I tell you, for me, those impromptu videos that I do seem like they get even more exposure and more visibility. Because I think you're right. I didn't ever think about it. Like, people are nosy, like, ooh, what's Pat up to? What's Dr. Pat up to?
Yeah, people knows. They love that. They love that. That, I call that just being real, because people want to be a part of your life. And the only way we can allow the world to know who we are, we don't get to go out to lunch together, is we have to let them in. That's why I say we don't have to go out to do a video. And when you don't feel like it, the best time to do it is if you're a person, you're shy or whatever, and you just don't feel like it, the best time for you to do a video is when you have dressed yourself up to go somewhere. Grab that camera and just go in.
Yeah.
You're already dressed. In most cases, I have to, when I plan to do mine, I have to dress. I decide, what am I going to wear for this one? I know it's going to be some red though.
I know. I almost wore
in most cases.
Yeah. I almost,
but when I'm out, but when I'm out prompt too, it's okay. You know, I'm out. Sometimes I'm having dinner. I put my little selfie stand. That's something I recommend for everybody. Have a selfie stand, a selfie stick with a stand with you at all times. And you can sit right there and enjoy your dinner. You know, I'm just saying, if you buy it with, I'm by myself. So I go in the restaurants and have dinner by myself to talk on social media. So we say we don't have time. A lot of times we don't do it. We think we don't have time. You can talk on social media when you're sitting in the car waiting for your grandson or granddaughter to come from school, come out of the school, the office. You know, the school, when school is out and you're waiting to pick them up. When I'm at grocery stores, you know, I don't have to go. I'm talking about me. I don't go in the store right away. If I know something I need to do, let me check LinkedIn. See what a day does not go by. Consistency is important. A day does not go by that I'm not looking on social media on those platforms to see who's talking to me. Because those people are talking to me.
And answering them, which is really
good. And answering them. Absolutely.
Now, we're talking about visibility, just getting out there. It's easier than you think, and just do it more often. Let's talk about some of the amazing things that have occurred because you do this. So you went to Paris recently, you're going to Vegas next week, and this has to do with, you're probably back in the day when you said, I want that mic, right? Like, let's go back. You get speaking invitations and get yourself booked for speaking gigs all the time. So talk a little bit about how the visibility you've created resulted in invitations for speaking, because I know you've got some pretty cool stories about that.
Well, visibility, first of all, is about how easily others can find, view, and interact with your content and profile in the social media landscape that we have going on now. Visibility plays a crucial role in shaping the user's experience. They're experiencing something when they see you. You don't know that, but they're experiencing something. They're looking at you, they're watching you, and they will not say anything, but you got to know within yourself that you're making an impact. And that's why I say we have to do it with intention, you know, because this is the virtual world we're living in. And if you think people are not watching you, you all put that ad sign, and then when that everyone pops up, add everyone and see how many people you're connected to. But those people are not coming to my event. Those people are not, but guess what? All that's irrelevant. What matters is that they see me. I have impressed 17,000 impressions sometimes on LinkedIn, 7,000 impressions. Impressions to me is when you have impressed the people. Somebody's watching. So that's how I look at it. I just have to shape my mind that this platform is all mine at the time. And that's what I feel when I'm on that platform. So, because if I don't feel that way, I'll start thinking what they may say about this. If I say that, no, that's my platform. I have a right to be there, and I post as if the world is going to see me. That's just the way it is.
I love it. I love that you said that your definition of impressions is you have impressed people. Right. So like, that was really cool. I never thought of the real, meaning of that word before. So good.
Yeah, and that is how I get most of my engagements, because people have watched me and they see me, and because I'm consistent. If I'm a public speaker and I'm looking for speakers, I'm going to look for those people. I'm just saying, those people that I see all the time that's consistent on there. I already know if they are in my event, they're going to help me push that event. If I give them a personal promotional with their picture on it, they've already proven that they are adamant, and they're adamant about their own, content. So that's what we're looking for. And this is how I believe people find me. I get letters all the time. We want to give you an award in Texas. I went to Texas. Same thing with Paris. They find me on social media. I don't ask for these positions. I'll get an email, because as an entrepreneur, my information is out there. People, I have services, and I don't keep myself private, and I'm not, so those are my things, my tips. But yes, and that's how people find me on social media, because of my consistency. And I just got a letter a few weeks ago. They want me to be the ambassador for July 2024 event that they're hosting in New York. I don't know those people, but they say, we've watched your stuff, we've looked at your information, we've watched your content, and we would like to ask you if you would be an ambassador. I immediately ran to you and Trish, because I was floored. I didn't even know if it was real or not. But in my heart, I'm going in my heart, I wanted to be an ambassador for one of these conferences, because they're doing all the work. The work is done. So I don't have to go out and set up events, but I'm still satisfying my desire. But I never said that's what I want to do. But in my heart, and God knew my heart, because I've seen other women doing it, and I've spoken at those events, but I'm like, okay, but I didn't push it. I wasn't really wanting behind it. And it just fell in my lap, because God knew my heart. And when you give to other people, when you pour into other people, your desires are going to come into fruition. But when we're selfish, and we don't want to pay out to organizations, to communities, to wherever we need to pay out to get what we need, but then we want to know why people not paying us. God, I believe in my heart, he honors my actions. He honors what I do for other people. We cannot expect people to pay us, and we are not willing to pay them. It's not right. We want information for free. Well, how do you do this? Well, how do you do that? Well, that's the coaching package. Oh, okay. Well, I don't have the money right now. I'm good. But I watch people, and I tell God, let me do the right thing by others. I buy stuff and I know I don't need it, but I do it to pour into other people.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. And she was going in. If you didn't know, it was speaking the truth. Treaching, as our friend Dr. Roz would say. And we need to hear these things in order to be successful, to have the impact, to have your desires filled. We got to get real. That's one of the phrases here at Women's Prosperity Network. Be real, get real, achieve real results. If we're not honest with ourselves about what we're doing and showing up, I'm sitting here thinking, I need to be doing more videos. And just when I'm driving in my car, when I'm flying to Atlanta Friday, so when I'm at the airport, I get inspiration. Yeah. Just hey, I'm heading there. But so thank you for inspiring me today. And it's not so that I get a particular result. It's about pouring into people continuously and really being of service. You're so amazing.
And it's about branding. Like I said, it's about branding. You got to be in front of as many people, as we all know that, as we can. So when you're sitting in, and so I'm gonna tell y'all something, when you're out in public, we think we're human. Okay, well, I'm not gonna do it right here because people are gonna be watching me. They're supposed to watch you. And I'm gonna tell you something about people that's watching you. Some of those people will come right over and bum my camera, bum my video, because they think it's exciting. And you're also teaching them what they need to be doing on social media. It's so many parameters that cover why we need to be more visible and why we have to get over being afraid and shy. Because it's not about you, it's not about me, it's about the people that we are willing to serve, that we don't know who's going to be attracted to us. So if we hold back, we're missing opportunities.
Yeah, they're waiting for us to show up for them. So when showing up, think of it this way. It's not about showing up for yourself to get a result. It's about showing up for the person who needs to hear the thing you're saying.
Yes. I get it all the time.
I know. All right, Dr. Pat, we look, oh my gosh, how does this, you and I, girl, we can just talk.
Oh Lord, yeah, we just going on and on.
It's
Okay, yeah, we over the 30-minute mark.
perfect. And
Okay.
we've got some great comments in the chat and on Facebook as well. And one of the things that Dr. Pat has created for all of you is a guide, 10 tips to get more speaking gigs. And this is absolutely free. So you can just go to her website, patriciarogers.com, and right on the front page you'll see, click that button and get yourself her 10 tips to get speaking gigs, because that's part of visibility. And what I love about you, my friend, is your commitment to help us get out there. You come from this beautiful spirit of what we like to call co-opetition. If I'm speaking on your stage, it's good for you. If you're speaking on my stage, it's good for me. Like, it's not about who's doing what. It's like, how can we all serve more and do our part? And you referenced God several times today, and I'm going to go here because I think as an entrepreneur, if we've been given this seed and this spirit, and this is for people in any position, each and every one of us, we talk about fulfilling our purpose or our potential, and it's really just doing our part of God's work out in the world. That's what we're here for, to be that expression of love and contribution and service to other people. That's what life is meant to be. So let's step up and do it just a little bit more. So grab the free download, 10 top 10 ways to get speaking gigs at patriciarogers.com. And I'm going to be hanging out with you on Saturday.
So yes. And I want to just throw this in there right quick. When I talked about I had to refund the $14,000, I want everybody to know, when you told us to transition to online and don't lose sight of our vision, that drove me and pushed me to do it. But I'm going to tell you what was really behind the drive also was the fact that I was devastated. I had to return that money, but God spoke to me. I have more where that came from. You're in a crisis, give them back their money. So my goal when I went online was to prove to myself that I can host these events online. I can still fulfill my dream and my passion, and I can make money. And I have made way over, so I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, please, whatever you do, walk through the challenge, get up, suit up, and show up, get through the fear, because fear, everything you need is on the other side. We hear it all the time. And what I tell myself when I'm walking through my house and I'm procrastinating on doing things that I don't really like to do about my business, I tell myself, you're procrastinating. You know you're procrastinating, right? I say, you know you procrastinate, right? And I talk to myself just like that. And I say, yeah, I am. And I say, okay, let me go do this. And it is what it is. We're all where we are. But I know that there's so much more. Every morning I wake up to a new destiny. We all do. And I do not want to shortchange God for the gifts that he's given me. Because if I don't manage the minute, he's not going to give me the masses. And that's just real, ladies here.
Oh, so good.
When you taking what you got for lightly, you're only posting, I'm going in visibility, you only post on social media when you're having something, when you have a banner to post, and people are tagging you otherwise and you're not showing up for them, and now you got a book all that stuff need to be smashed. We really need to stop saying we're gonna work together. We just need to do it, because your blessing hangs on the hinges of your disciplines. That's my story I'm sticking to.
Oh, did you hear that? Your blessing hangs on the hinges. Your blessing hangs on the hinges of your discipline, your consistency, your showing up. And I would add to that your service to others, which you do so beautifully, my friend. And that's what Saturday is all about. So I love Gail Dixon quoted you. Every morning I wake up to a new destiny. Woo, woo, woo. We're going to have little Dr. Pat quotes all over. I think we should, because they're good, my friend. All right. So here's what we're going to do next. Dr. Pat is going to talk to us about the event on Saturday. I am one of the honored speakers at this event. And you can get your tickets. Tell them how to get their tickets. And while you're doing that, I'm going to unmute everybody so that you have the opportunity to ask questions, add insights. And if you are not getting the number of clients that you want to be serving, visibility is your answer. So I want more leads, visibility is your answer. I want more money, visibility is your answer. I want to have more fun. I want to make a bigger impact. You can't hide yourself, right?
That's
so
right.
Tell us about the event. And then I'm putting the link in the chat for the event.
Okay, I put it in also earlier. Okay, so the event is, first of all, let me just say that Unity and Service platform is designed for speakers who have never spoken before. I'm sure some of you are out there. I have, oh my God, young lady on the platform today, and she'll be working with me. She's young. I met her at an event, and I feel inspired to work with her because of her energy and her zeal. And the platform that we host, we don't discriminate. If you consider yourself an expert speaker, of course, like Nancy Matthews, and we've had so many others. You can see behind me, Susie, you know, you got Richard Lewing, Trish Carr, and the list goes on. Kim, your list goes on. A lot of these people are speakers all the time. And then there are those speakers that come to me, say, well, I've done it a couple of times, but I need more engagement. I need more engagements. And so that's what we do. We do to serve. And I know for a fact that all of our speakers in our events, they walk away with an email list. We don't want you rummaging through the chat. If you make a payment for a secure spot, pay to play, you're going to get a copy of the email list ready to download. You're going to get content and, you know, for you to share across social media. And we're going to share you across social media if you're in our events. So Saturday's event is, the tickets are $37. Early bird is over, but the tickets are $37. And of course, with that comes a bonus. And the bonus that I'm bonusing in for that is for those of you who have not invested in my recent release, in-person and virtual events that rock, you will get that PDF. You will get a full copy of that book PDF if you invest in a ticket today. So by 11 tonight, I'll look at all the tickets that came in, and anybody, whether they here or not, that came in anytime today after cleaning it up last night will be entitled to receive a full copy of the book. And the book don't just talk about events. There are tips and strategies. There are pictures in that book. Everybody that's been in our events, not everybody, but a lot of people that's been in our events. So sometimes we look at a book and we think it's big, but there are a lot of pictures in that book because I am grateful for the people that I've met, and I do love people and I do elevate them. And there are a lot of pictures in the book. So from events.
So let's go ahead and get your tickets. Darlene on Facebook asked if registration is still open. Yes, indeed, it is. And when you register today by 11, you are going to get a bonus.
Tonight, 11 tonight.
11 p.m. Eastern, yeah.
Tonight.
You will go ahead and get a copy of her new release book, which I purchased, and it's fantastic. So go to lead.eventbrite.com, and the word leaders and lead is capital L. So leaderslead.eventbrite.com, and the word bright is spelled B-R-I-T-E. And go and grab your ticket. Also, if for some reason you're on your phone and you can't write it down and you're in your car, whatever that is, if you go to patriciarogers.com, when you go to patriciarogers.com to grab your free gift, the top 10 tips to get speaking gigs, also on that page, you'll see a button that'll take you to the link to sign up for the event. So we got you covered. Suit up, get up, suit up, show up. That's what Dr. Pat says.
Yes, and I want to say this too. If you look at the bottom of my screen, that's another trick, visibility, y'all. When you're on these platforms, you're hosting events, just change your name, put the link there, because trust me, somebody on that platform is going to check that link out. And I almost forgot to put it up there. But yes, right there on the video, all you have to do is change your name and put your link there, because many of us host events. And it's always, how do I get the word out? There are so many ways to be visible. Text messages, power to, the list can go on and on and on. And if we're not using these systems, these platforms, then again, the best place to build personal relationships is right in that Facebook Messenger. I have a group, all of these speakers right now are in a group chat. And you know what? One of the ladies, Kenya, she's a marketer. None of these people knew each other. She took advantage of the opportunity. She realized I gave her a warm market, and she invited them to do a live StreamYard live across social media talking about the event. But guess what? They also had a chance to introduce themselves and what they do. So this is what it's all about. Everything I do it with purpose. It's not about the events. It's about me, because I already can tell who needs to shop in this and who needs to shop. So it's always about me sharing my gifts, my nuggets, whatever, and inspiring you to do more of what you're doing if you're not doing it. So when you are speaking at an event, you're getting free, what we call coaching, if you follow our system and follow my lead. When I tell people to post and I call you, I don't see you. You're not posting. I've tagged you 10 times. Don't get mad at me. Appreciate me. Because I see what you're doing and what you're not doing. So I'm trying to help you out a little bit, you know. So that's what I'm about. And I'm so glad you pointed some of those things out, Nancy, because everything I do comes from the heart.
Yeah, I know.
And experience.
Your heart, your experience, and really a desire to fulfill your purpose and help others do the same. That's what it's about. That's beautiful.
Somebody asked the question if they could get a replay. As that relates to replay, if you've purchased a ticket, yes, you will get the replay within 48 hours. You get the chat filled with emails. We make sure people put their emails in the chat, and then you'll get that, as well as the replay itself. And that we send those things out 24 hours after the fact. Anyone that has a complimentary ticket, because we do give to nonprofits and things of that nature, but anyone that have a complimentary ticket does not get the replay and all of that, because that's a lot of work. So I just want to make that clear, you know, that the complimentary tickets, but everybody can purchase a replay. They just got to make the investment. That's it.
All right, thank you for that. So Evie's, whether you can be there for some of it or all of it, go ahead and get your ticket. Also get the book, which was a huge, huge benefit. And now let's open up for some questions and comments. So if you're with us on Facebook, you can put your question in the comment section there in the thread. If you're with us on Zoom, you can hit *6 if you're on your phone, or raise your hand if you're with us on the computer, or just unmute yourself, and we'd love to hear from some of you. Let me start with Gail Dixon, if you can. I know you're one of the speakers alongside me at this event. Could you go ahead and so, hi, Gail.
Good morning. I'm delighted to be here. And, you know, one of the things that I love about doing an event with Dr. Patricia Rogers is that everything is done to the nines and precisely. Right. Everything is done with passion and with purpose, and that helps it turn out perfectly. Yeah. So I'm very comfortable and confident in being on her platform. And I can't wait to hear some of these speakers who I don't yet know, but I'm sure will have a lot to offer me.
Gail, that is
awesome.
So true. You and I have been on lots of different stages in person and online. And to your point, everything is done precisely. And I'm going to go in now, Dr. Pat.
Go on in, girl.
Sometimes it feels like you're being a real stickler and pain in the butt with all these things.
I know it.
To do.
I know it.
But I've also been at events, and I know the other side of it, when no attention is paid to making sure the speakers know what time it is, to understanding the flow, to understanding the theme, to getting your background set up. Like everything that you do at times can feel like a pain in the butt. And because I know your heart and you're doing this so that I look the best. Okay, what Dr. Pat says, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this.
That's it.
So
you hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head.
So
you said because I asked you to do it. Every brand has rules and regulations. Yep. If you're selling a book and you want a person to get a book a certain way, you're going to tell them how to get that book. And I'm glad you brought that up, because it's true. And I learned this in corporate America. When the policies changed because of what one person did and all of us had, I've learned to go with the flow because they see the vision. I always say it's not a conference call. God didn't get a vision in me. He gave it to you, and he didn't give yours to mine to you. If we could just follow the instructions that's given us, we don't see the outcome because it's not your vision. But you got to trust the process. And that's why sometimes people resist. And yes, sometimes we do have to let people out of the event because they're not serving me. If they're going to create stress for me, we want all leaders, and we all must learn how to follow. It ain't difficult.
Well said. Well said. Awesome. Gail, thank you for.
Thank you. See you Saturday.
Yes, you will see me Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. Beautiful. All right. Again, 2 things. You want to get your free gift from Dr. Patricia Rogers. Go to patriciarogers.com. Right on the front page there. As soon as you get there, you'll see the button to get your 10 tips to get speaking gigs. And then a little down below, you'll see the button for the event, or you can go right there, which is leaderslead.eventbrite.com. leaderslead.eventbrite.com. You got to do capital L for both of those 2 words. Let's go ahead and get a couple more comments, questions. I see somebody with phone number 919. Do you have a question or a comment for Dr. Pat?
Hello, Dr. Patricia. This is Darlene Thorne. How are you?
Hey, Pastor, what's up? Hi, Pastor Thorne. What's up? How are you? Good to see you.
It is so good to be here. Oh, my goodness.
Awesome.
Let me tell y'all. This was phenomenal. I put it on Facebook and everything already, but I wanted to say I learned something more about you today. I didn't know all the backstory of how you got to where you are from your job and all of that. And let me tell you, I have an even greater appreciation for what you do and how you do it. Because one of the things I learned, I was at an event this past week, and the speaker said this. He said, when we don't show up, we are letting the people down that we're supposed to serve. And when you're talking about visibility, you're really saying that if we're not showing up, the people that need us are not going to be able to have what we are supposed to be giving to the universe. And so I want to say thank you for every opportunity you gave me to be on your platform, every opportunity you gave me to smile and dance and be happy because of the fact that I was showing up there. And because of you, I continue to show up. I got my ticket, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen and how many other people's lives are going to be affected because you're showing us all how to be visible. So thank you, Dr. Pat, for all that you do. You are an amazing woman. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Darlene. Yeah, she was a regular for a while till she landed she found her home on Clubhouse, and she is definitely doing great things over there. And you know, I always love and respect you as well, Pastor Darlene. So yeah, she's been on these many platforms, her and that Roz. So we all work together.
Yes.
And when it's time to spread your wings, you got to go do your thing. So I'm grateful for your testimony this morning.
Thank you so much, and I'm grateful for you.
Love that. And again, echoing the fact that we need to stop thinking about ourselves so much, right? And just, oh, does my hair look like, even this morning, I was like, oh, my hair's not quite right, but that doesn't matter. What matters is the message and the mission that you have to share to fulfill your purpose, your destiny, and impact and touch somebody's lives. Or here's the other thing that I know is when we go to these type of events, which is why Women's Prosperity Network hosts events as well, is your vision, Dr. Pat. So when you and I first met, when you came to Women's Prosperity Network, we didn't know you would be the guest on my show today. I would be on your stage tomorrow. But what we knew is that when you show up and you have a desire in your heart and you stay committed to that, God will conspire in your favor to introduce you to the people that advance the vision. That's another reason to show up.
That's it. You're going to get something out of it.
Yes.
You're going to get something, definitely, definitely. And I just want to throw in a few things. When you all are posting on social media, make sure you go back and comment on your own post. Make sure you interact with people. Engagement is very important for your post. And tag people. Don't be afraid to tag your loved ones, your friends. I tag people I don't even know, because what I'm trying to do is get traction on that post. And if those people are connected to me on LinkedIn at level 1, they belong to me. If they're connected to me on Facebook, they belong to me. So if they don't want to be there, they should have never connected with me. So that's why I said we have to get over the fear. But social media is not difficult. I'm sorry, but I'm going in. I do it in my bathtub. I do it when I'm not gonna say the rest. But yeah, it don't take long to do it. That's all I'm saying. And I enjoy it when I do it, because I know people are talking to me and I don't know what door of opportunity going to open, and I don't know what compliment I'm going to get. And when I get, oh my God, it makes my day, because everybody's on social media because they want attention. Why not you? Why not you? So show up for other people, comment on their posts. I go in some groups I'm in. I don't visit a lot of them, but the groups I do post in, I go down the list and all I do is put emoji. I look at what they have, read a little bit of it, and sometimes I get stuck. I read it all, but you know what? I leave emoji. I don't have to know them, because I don't know whether that administrator is looking just for people who are posting. I just think about the other person and everything that I say and do. For the most part, I'm not perfect at everything, but I do a pretty good job. So that's where I am with that. So you have to be visible. Hashtags, very important hashtags. I didn't used to use them. Nancy talked about it for years, but I use them now. I put them on a Word document. They're all, when I get on this computer, my Word documents are open. When I make a post, I cut and paste those things that I have that are relevant to what I'm saying, as well as the ones that are important, just people use commonly, and I cut and paste and put it right there. This thing is not difficult, but we'll be doing more workshops next year, and we're going to get away from so many speakers at one time. We only want a few speakers that are going to teach the people, and that's what we're going to be doing more of next year. Workshops, so you get to come hands-on, question and answers, and we're going to really, we want to give you some knowledge without the long months of coaching. We can do so much in 2 or 3 hours.
So make sure you come to this event, because this is going to, her last event of the year in this format. Next year is going to be workshops. So, which will be a workshop is more in depth. It's probably going to be a higher investment, which at least as your coach, I would recommend. Anyway. I get to do a little coaching while we're here today. So join us on Saturday, get the replay, even if you can only be there a bit. You'll get a copy of her book when you get your ticket by midnight tonight. 11 p.m. Eastern tonight. So go to leaderslead.eventbrite.com, grab your ticket. And if you didn't catch all that, just go to patriciarogers.com, and right on the front page, you'll see how you can get a ticket to the event and her free gift. Let's check in. Let me see.
And the last thing on that, Nancy, I like to let them know, everybody that comes to the event on time, the first hour, we always acknowledge our attendees. So we're going to ask you to introduce who you are, the title of your company, and please share your ask. Everybody wants somebody. If you have a link to a book, if you have a link to an event, if you have a link to your web, whatever you at, we want you to promote something if you have something to promote. And then just tell the link is going to be in the chat, because this is about practicing your script, your introductions, as well as selling, making a sale. But most importantly, we want people to hear your mouth, see your face, and that way they can put a face with, they know who they're buying from. You behind the camera, that's not visibility. If you're not an entrepreneur and you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you need to show up your face so that we will get to know you. Because when you do get ready to sell, now you don't have nobody to sell to, because nobody saw you. So I want to say that first hour, then we're going to do it again at the end of the event for those who didn't make it on time that may be there and want to do it. And Mr. LaDonna McAbee, she'll be doing part of that as well toward the end. And so we're asking all of our speakers to please, y'all, if you got it, just let's support one another. We're doing such a great job. They had a big interview the other day. I read in the chat this morning. Everybody had a great time. And this was what makes me know that I'm getting the results from what my vision is for the people. It's when people connect with each other and they grow together. and I've done my job. Sometimes I get a little jealous too, because sometimes they be so happy I ain't in there, and I see people posting on Facebook. I say, I ain't know she was having that. She ain't even invite me, golly. And I introduced her. I'm the one who introduced her. I get jealous, but you know what? It's a good jealous. Because then I say to myself, girl, pat yourself on the back. What you talking about? Because we all got kid in us. So I'm just, we can't be everywhere all the time. But I'm just saying, y'all keep up the good work, because that's what it's all about, loving one another and treating each other with love and respect. And we do look forward to seeing you all at the event. And you will get the ebook for those who signed up by 11 o'clock tonight. You'll get that ebook by within the next 24 hours after tonight. So that's my story. And I do hope you all come on out and let your voice be heard. And you all will receive a virtual background. They've gone out once today, and they'll go out again. All of our attendees receive a virtual background, as well as our participants, because we believe in making an impact when we show up.
I'm gonna.
Oh, Nancy, I said, okay, I thought I lost you. Yeah, so that's all I have. And in my closing, in my closing, okay, she got me on spotlight. No, she didn't. She got her banner up. That's so funny, Nancy. You're too. I would never have thought of that. Oh my God, that's too funny. So this is what your banner will look like, attendees. How about that? And this is how we show love to our participants, because we want our speakers to be seen and heard and not distracted. So with that, and if you don't know how to put the virtual background up, a link to a 2-minute video will be in the email that comes out to you. So keep your eyes open for emails from me as well as Eventbrite. And I love you all. And in my closing, I want to say this. You cannot have success without sacrifice. You have to sacrifice something. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. I'm Dr. Patricia Rogers, visibility strategist, and I am the CEO of Unity in Service, where people
need people.
People. Over to you, Nancy. Over to you.
I love it. And as you say, can't have success without sacrifice. All we want you to sacrifice today is that hesitation and resistance to being visible. Because people need you, people want you. So let's get rid of that one and get out there. Again, Dr. Pat, thank you for your inspiration, motivation, and platform you create for us to get out there and make a difference. I love you so much, my friend, and I'm looking forward to being with you on Saturday. So good.
Okay, thank you. Love you. Trish Carr, I didn't hear her voice. I love you, Trish. Love you, Susan. And I want you all to know that your pouring into me is paying off. And I tell God, thank you for you all being a part of my life. And if you're not in WPN, y'all don't know what you're missing.
Come on.
People need people.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, my friend. Thank you, Dr. Pat. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I look forward to seeing so many of you at Entrepreneurs Living the Dream 2023. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Bye-bye now. Bye, Dr. Pat.
Bye-bye.